You might remember a little while back about the time I spoke about the history of spirit orbs. If you missed that one, don't worry, I've got a link in this video's description. Anyway, since my mom passed away, I've been looking through a lot of old family photos, and you've got to see this. This photo was taken at my grandma's house in Taylorsville, Utah, back in 2004 while I was still in high school. And if you notice, we see two spirit orbs right in front of my mom lining up with the rest of the family. And that isn't all I found. Here's a picture of where I lived during my high school years in Hurricane, Utah, right next to an old fort and lookout point. Right before heading off to my senior prom, my friends and I did a picnic up there. And as it got dark, guess what started showing up in the photos? Spirit orbs. I showed these pictures to my siblings to see what they thought of them. And one of my brothers said, "Huh, that's probably just a dirty lens." But if it was a dirty lens, then we should see the exact same spots in multiple pictures in the exact same places. And that is not what we see here. Now suddenly we're seeing more of them, and they are appearing in different locations. To that, another of my brothers suggested that the spots could be unfocused dust reflecting back into the camera that we were using. And since the flash was used in each of the photos that the spirit orbs appeared in, that was a good hypothesis. And best of all, it was testable. So this called for an investigation. So just the other day, I took some of my kids back to the old fort and waited till nightfall. So here's a picture of my daughter standing in the old fort at night with the camera flash on. And we're not seeing any spirit orbs right now. Next, we had someone stand above the camera and slap two pillows together to create a bunch of dust while we took a picture with the flash on. And bam! Now we're seeing all these spots all over the place. And they do greatly resemble the spots we saw in the other pictures. It's actually a pretty cool effect. So maybe these could be caused by dust. Nonetheless, their alignment there seems pretty uncanny. Also keep in mind, spirit orb sightings have been around a lot longer than digital flash photography has been in popular use. Anyone remember the PBS kids show Ghost Rider from back in the early 90s?
Hey, cool! We're the Ghost Rider team.
We check our clues and solve mysteries.
He's a ghost, and he writes to us. Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider first aired in 1992. And this is what the quality of popular digital cameras looked like in 1998. I'm not saying this is the only kind of digital camera that was around at the time. The first camera phone was invented in 1997. But this is what was popular at the time. That is a pretty striking shape for a ghost. I seriously don't think they got the idea from a glitch in someone's digital camera. And please don't tell me you think digital cameras were around back when jack-o'-lanterns were invented. You can't just outrule all spirit orb sightings on account of a similarity in a camera glitch. To do so would be an anachronism. An anachronism is an act of attributing a custom, event, or object to a period with which it doesn't belong. So we shouldn't completely rule out spirit orb just yet. Though we do have to acknowledge that it very well could just be dust. And another thing that we have to point out here is the prior connection we made with taking pictures of stars with digital cameras. This is evidence that some of those pictures could be out of focus. Except when you look at these dust particles, they are all pretty similar in color. Though this is just a photo, not a video, there's no indication that any of them are constantly changing color like the footage that we showed in the video before. A star being out of focus shouldn't make it constantly change color. Also take notice of the shape. All of the dust particles appear to have a pretty uniform circular shape. We are not seeing any abstract, wavy, vibrational edges here. That is significant. Compare that with this star footage, and it tells you something else is going on here. Though the results of this experiment were definitely not what I expected, there was still a lot that we were able to get out of it. Needless to say, we'll keep looking into it. Until then, this video has been brought to you by the Flat Earth Institute of Science. Thank you all for watching.